All right, I wanted to do one more video for those of you who are doing kind of the level up option. One of the options to level up this project was to film B-roll to accompany your video. This is footage that you filmed outside of the interview that is related to the topic, the person that you're interviewing. The requirements for that are in the guide for this assignment, including things like you need to film in at least 2 different locations, and there's some other guidance there too for what that B-roll should look like. B-roll would really turn this into more of a kind of short testimonial or even like a short documentary type video, and it's a great option to have. It's a great way to add something to your portfolio and again to just level up your project. So this group that I'm working with, they filmed B-roll with their project, and I'm going to show you just how they could incorporate their B-roll into this project as a whole. I've got it here in the media folder, and this is actually one of those times where it's useful to use the icon mode here. So I'm going to double click on this B-roll folder to open it up in a bin of its own, and then I'm going to use the icon view here so that I can see these clips, and I can, even if I want to, I can make them a little bit bigger. I actually want to do a little bit of editing ahead of time. I want to choose like which clips are the ones that I actually want to include in this. And one thing that can make this easier for me is to maximize this window. To do that, I'm going to just click in this bin so that it's highlighted in blue like this, and I'm going to hit the tilde key on my keyboard. Tilde is the key. It's right next to the number 1, right under the escape key, the little squiggly line. If I type on that, then I'll be able to maximize this window and see all of my clips here. It's taken a minute for it to load all of them, and here they are, and I can see all of my B-roll. Now, one kind of cool thing is if I hover my mouse over the clip and kind of go left to right, I can actually kind of scrub through the clip and see what it looks like. And so I can't hear the clips at all as I'm doing this, but I can sort of get a sense of what the clips are, what they look like, if there's something I want to have. Like this one here has a nice slow pan through the theater. Remember, this is an interview about someone who is a theater student, so it might be really relevant. This is a nice kind of gimbal shot here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just select the clips that I think I really want to use in this, just by right-clicking on each of them, finding the label option, and I'll label them with some other color, like violet here. And that will show up with a label when I'm in list mode. Find the clips that I want to use for B-roll. I'm just going to grab a handful here, label them with violet here. I'll take this slow pan here. I'm not going to do all of them right now, but I'm just going to label a handful of them so I've got them. It might be something useful. Again, here, just this one here as well. Okay, then I'm going to just hit my tilde key again to minimize that. I can close this bin and be back in my project panel. And then in my B-roll folder, you're going to see some of my files here now have this violet label on them instead of the blue label. Those are the ones that I know that I want to use the B-roll from. If I double click on the little icon right here, it'll show up here in my source panel and I can actually see the clip. Now you have a couple options here. What we're going to do with this B-roll is I'm going to use it to give our viewers something else to look at various places in the interview. Some people like to have, if you have a really strong B-roll clip that you really like a lot, you could, if you wanted to, move everything over to a little bit and then drop your B-roll clip into your project like this. That's one option you can do if you want to. You could drop it in here. But another option, if you don't want to do that, is just to drop it into the track above your the rest of your audio here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm imagining that this clip is really visually nice, but the audio isn't important. If that's the case, what I can do is instead of grabbing the whole clip, I can just grab this where it says drag video only and drag this into my project somewhere where I want it to show up. So let's say I want it to show up. I actually really like this as kind of an opener. Well, what I might do is maybe show it somewhere around here, before the graphic and before she says this line right here. And let's take a look and see how that looks.
What I have found is a sort of religion in theater when I walk into it.
And right, she says, when I walk into a theater. I love that. I'm going to actually include that here, move that over here, because I actually have her walking.
When I walk into a theater, it's a peaceful feeling that comes over me.
But again, we want to try to keep footage to just a few seconds. This one I think is okay because it's kind of a longer clip.
when I work with a fellow actor.
I don't know. I think I want to maybe shorten this down a little bit, so I'm just getting back to her. What we're going to do is we're going to just kind of splice in this B-roll at various points so that it's kind of, you can think of it almost like a second camera or like another camera angle, a third or fourth camera angle, just giving us something else to look at that's kind of relevant to the video. Now, what if the audio is really important? What if the audio from the B-roll clip that you filmed is something that you really want people to be able to hear? I don't know if I have a clip in here that's really important for audio-wise, but what if I did have a clip that was really important? If I did want to hear the audio, I'm going to make sure to just click and drag on the whole thing, and that will give me not just the video, but also the audio. But I'm going to click and drag it somewhere over on the side here, because otherwise this audio is going to cover up some other audio. Then I can take this and just move it down, or move it where it needs to be. I'm going to create another track here by right-clicking somewhere in here, choosing Add Tracks. I'm just going to add one audio track. I don't need to add another video track, though. And now I've got another audio track down here. That way it's not going to be covering up the audio from anything else. So if I want to keep that audio, I can do that. And again, I can just drag this somewhere where it needs to be. Another thing I can do is I can actually do some pre-editing on my clips before I add them in. So when you double-click on a file in here and you show it up here in the source panel, you're going to see the clip in its entirety. So this clip right here I can see, but maybe I don't need all 15 seconds of this. Maybe I only want like the last couple seconds. If that's the case, I can move my playhead to wherever I really want to start the video, start this clip, and then I can click on this right here. It says Mark In, or I can just type the letter I on my keyboard. What I'm doing is I'm telling Premiere, I don't care about all this. When I drag this over, I only want to drag from here on. And then if I don't want all of the end either, over here I can type in O, and I'm just telling Premiere I just want this much of the clip, and it will only bring in that much of the clip. So it's kind of some pre-editing before I do anything. So that's very basic. I'm just showing you like kind of the basics of how to add this. Couple things to keep in mind. Again, viewers are used to about 6 seconds per clip. So if it's shorter than that, that's something to watch out for. And if it's too much longer than that, that's another thing to maybe watch out for. Also that we want to make sure that we're not getting away from the person speaking too much. We still want to see them talking. So just be judicious with the clips that you choose. Other thing that's really important, make sure you choose stable clips. If you don't have enough clips that are stable, then everything is really shaky, maybe that means that you're not going to use very much B-roll. Your clips should be stable as much as possible, and if you use the tripod, then they will be stable. But you want to have stable, strong clips. Also, color correction. You can color correct these clips in the same way that you color corrected all of your other clips earlier, just by using that Lumetri color effect that I went over in another video. So that's some real kind of bare bones basics of adding some B-roll. If you have any questions about this as you're doing it, let me know. I'm happy to talk to you.